The test will look almost just like this. Yeah, it'll be mixed up on the ones with actual numbers. The numbers will be different, but it'll be the same format. Same number of questions, same point value for those types of questions. Yeah, so if you can do this, you're going to do great tomorrow. All right, bottom of the front. If two lines are perpendicular, they form how many right angles? 4 right angles. Good. Two adjacent acute angles that form a blank angle are complementary.
Right.
Yes, complementary means they add to 90, so it would have to make a right angle. If blank angles form a linear pair and are also congruent, they must be right angles. 2 angles. Good. All right angles are congruent. Good. And you can even use the symbol if you want to go quick. So we are trying to decide if they're parallel, perpendicular, or skew. So line AF is this one. Line DC is coming out at us, so you are right, those are skew. All right, line AD. I'm going to erase this now. All right, so AD is here, BC is back here, so those are parallel, good. And then DG is the front one. And then HG is over here. Yeah, those would be perpendicular. Looks like they make a right angle. All right, questions? All right, this next one, you are supposed to decide whether there is enough information to conclude that the statement is true and explain your reasoning. So, angle 6 and angle 10 are congruent.
Yes.
Yes. How do I know they're congruent?
Because they're corresponding.
Yes, but I'm not going to write that down.
Would you accept that?
Yeah, I would accept it, I guess. This is earlier in the chapter, though, than that. Before we knew corresponding angles were congruent, we knew that all right angles were congruent. So since they're both right angles, so it would be yes, all right angles congruent. All right, 6 and 9, are those congruent?
No.
And the reason is just not enough info. We don't know anything about the measure of angle 9. They definitely don't look congruent, but you can't ever use that as a reason. They don't look congruent or line slanty or whatever words you want to use like that, you can't. You just have to go on what you know, or if you don't know enough. So we don't know enough to conclude that 9 and 6 are congruent. What about 7 and 11? So remember, if we have perpendicular lines, we actually have 4 right angles. So you can add the information that all of those are right angles. So would 7 and 11 be congruent?
Yes.
Yes, and the same reason as above, that all right angles congruent. Now, these are worth 3 points each. So you get points for the yes or no part, and you get points for explaining it. So don't skip it, okay? Don't skip half the work. All right, so you're describing the angle relationship. So 12 and 15. 12 and 15 are D, same side, interior. 10 and 13,
D.
also D, same side, interior. 9 and 16,
B.
B, alternate exterior, good. 10 and 14, A. Yeah, just matching. I mean, if you wrote corresponding and alternate interior, that's fine. It's just, you can use the word bank up top. All right, 12 and 16.
A.
Also A, corresponding, good. And 15 and 10. Alternate interior, C. Good. All right, the next section asks, is there enough information to conclude that line RT is parallel to line XZ? Explain. So these are what type of angles? This is actually the stuff that's still on the board. What type of angles am I looking at?
Corresponding.
These are corresponding angles. Are they congruent?
Yes.
Is that enough information to conclude that the lines are parallel?
Yes.
So you would say all of that. Yes, corresponding angles are congruent. You need all three parts. You need the yes part, you need what angles we're looking at, you need that they're congruent. That's why I left that stuff over there on the board, if you guys see. Like over in the blue, those would be your answers for this section. Not enough information. Yes, the corresponding angles are congruent. Yes, the alternate interior angles are congruent. Yes, the alternate exterior angles are congruent. Or yes, the same side interior angles are supplementary. And I'll leave that up for one more day so you guys can look over there. All right, and then number 22. What type of angles are these? 22.
Alternate exterior?
No.
Those are the things that you have to say.
Vertical.
These are actually vertical angles. Do vertical angles tell us anything about parallel lines?
No.
No, so this one actually has not enough information. And I told you a couple times, a good tip-off that it's not enough information is that one of the lines is completely left out. We have no information down here at all. So it would be impossible to conclude that these two lines are parallel if we don't know anything about that bottom line. Questions? Okay, we are now trying to find the measure of the numbered angle. Is this a 1 degree angle? Is that a 1 degree angle?
No.
Does that one have anything to do with the measure of the angle or the answer that I'm looking for? No. People will still add that and say 99 degrees. That has nothing to do with the measure. It's just the way that I'm telling you which one I'm looking for. It could be an X. It could be a Y. It could be a W. It could be a question mark. Okay? Don't do anything mathematically with that number. All right?
Okay.
Now, what type of angles are these?
Alternate.
They are alternate exterior. What do I know about alternate exterior angles? They are congruent. So what's the measure of angle 1? 98 degrees. 24. What are these? Same side interior. What do I know about same side interior? They add to 180. So start at 180, subtract 70. What do you get?
110.
110. Good. Number 25. What are these?
Same side.
Same side interior. Same side interior angles are what?
Supplementary.
Supplementary. So I'm going to do 180 minus.
60 degrees.
I get 60 degrees. Good. All right, I'm going to stop there, give you a second to catch up. Kind of rapid fire answers. What's going on in 26? What type of angles are these?
Alternate.
Alternate interior. What do I know about alternate interior angles? They're congruent. So the measure of angle 4 is just 75 degrees.
So if they're congruent, you don't have to subtract or anything. Right?
Nope. We just write the number that you see with the degree symbol after it. Number 27.
Same side.
These are what?
Interior.
They're on the same side.
Exterior.
They're on the same size. One's interior, one's exterior. So it's not going to be either of those.
Corresponding.
These are corresponding. What do I know about corresponding angles?
They're congruent.
Good. So what's the measure of angle 5?
100?
100 degrees. All right, and 28.
Alternate extreme. Right. They're corresponding.
They're corresponding. So what's the measure of angle 6?
120.
120. Good. What are your questions?
I don't like this.
The directions say decide whether the white figure is a translation of the shaded figure.
No.
No, why not?
Because it's not. The two circles are the same way as the.
Right, it rotated. Remember, a translation just means a slide. So what about number 30?
Yes.
That's a yes. You can pick one up, slide it over, make the other one. What about 31?
Yes. Yes.
No, it's too small.
I think the white one's a little smaller.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so this one would be a no. You gotta be careful on that.
No, we didn't draw that.
Same directions.
No.
Yes. No.
So this one is a no
No.
because it's flipped, right? This one is a yes. One slides to make the other.
Why if they're two different colors?
Oh, it's okay if they're two different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What about 34?
No.
That's a no, 'cause they're different sizes. You just want to make sure one didn't spin, one didn't flip, and one didn't get bigger or smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Questions?
Okay.
All right. Describe the translation using words first, then using coordinates. So remember, the ones with these little marks, those are the new ones. So start at the other one. I'm going to start at the A. How would I go from the first A to the second A? From A to A prime, what do I need to do?
Draw a line
Which way?
to the other end.
So like,
I don't know.
anyone else know?
No, we don't.
Go from right on.
I go left. You start at the
See, that's what I told you to do.
You start at the one without the prime. So this is the original. I'm going to go left 2. I'm going to go up.
What?
Go all the way to the point. Right here. So from here to here, you go left 1, 2. You go up 1, 2, 3.
Oh, 3.
So I'm going to say left 2, then up 3. Now, in coordinate notation, remember you have to start at an XY, right? You slide over. How would I show left 2?
We gotta draw what you're doing on the bottom. In your
Uh-huh.
line.
How do I move left? Like, how would I describe it in the XY coordinates? Do you know how to describe moving up?
No.
It's always the X here, the Y here, and then we either add or subtract after the X, add or subtract after the Y. If you don't know, get your notes out from 3-4
Why you make it so big?
or from 3-7.
Oh, you want the answers?
Yeah, something goes in there.
What you say to look at?
3-7. 3.7 is the last notes we took.
Oh, I ain't got that, girl. Not right now.
It says if you go up, you write it here. If you go left, you put this. If you go... It says...
Isn't it the x1 plus...
It's 2.
No, that's slope. You're thinking of something else. That's algebra.
Y is X is.
So y is up. So do you think I'm going to add or subtract from the y if I'm moving up?
Add.
Add. So I'm going to put a plus 3 after the y. That shows up. How do you think I show left?
Minus.
Minus from
2.
from
X.
the x. Good. So left and right happens to your x. Up and down happens to your y.
And you want me to take a quiz on this.
I do. Now, see how the directions say in bold you need both words and coordinates.
Yes.
These are worth 4 points each. So you will get a point for saying left 2. You'll get a point for saying up 3. You'll get a point for writing the x correctly. You'll get a point for writing the y correctly. That adds up to 4 points. If you skip this section altogether, you will automatically have a -8. I would not recommend that. Okay? Questions on 35. And remember, you can do the same thing with the b's too. If I count from the original b to b prime, I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Works for any letter as long as you start at the original. So which letter would you like to use? C, D, or E?
D.
D. So I'm going to go from D to D prime. So I need to go left 1, 2, sorry, I'm going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only counted 6. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, you're right.
4,
I counted 6. Too.
6. Make sure you're going from the point next to the D, the point to the point. So I go right 6,
Up 4.
and then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you really just do that?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
All right, so that's the first half of the answer, right? Right 6, up 4. Now I'm going to write my x and y coordinates. So I start at an xy. I'm going to slide over. How do I show going right? Well, left was minus, so right can't also be minus. You would be adding. So I'm going to add 6 to the x to go right. Add 4 to the y to go up. Good.
You put if it's right, if it's left, you subtract it. If it's right, you add.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of weird, man.
All right, so I'm going to make a little key for us real quick because it doesn't seem like you guys still have this in your notes. Does everyone have this part? Okay, so just for study purposes, if we are going right, how do we show that?
Add x equal y.
Very good. Just x. And I won't even put the parentheses. So we add to the x. X plus blank. If you want to go left, how do you do that? X minus blank. If I want to go up, how do I do that? Add to the y. So y plus blank. If I want to go down, what do I do? You do y minus blank, and it's always written like this. We start at an xy. We go to a slide. We do something to the x. We do something to the y. These are the things that would go here and here, okay?
All right, let me write it. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna take a picture of this.
I should actually say like these two are here, these two are here. Filling in the blank. And don't forget to do it in words too. The words is the easy part. Sometimes students just get so excited about the coordinates or so nervous or anxious about the coordinates that they skip over the section where it just says do it in words. Same section, but the directions. The last section says solve for the x given the lines below are parallel. So what type of angles are these?
Corresponding.
And what do we know about corresponding angles? Incorrect. They're congruent. So x plus 5 equals 120. Then what?
You add 5x. X is 5.
Basically, x plus 5 which equals 5x.
No. We're solving for the x. We subtract 5 from both sides to get the x by itself. So x equals what? What's 115? Good. All right, next. What are these?
Same side interior.
Same side interior. What do I know about same side interior?
They're at 80.
They add to 180.
80 degrees.
So I need to solve
80.
for the x. What should I do first? Subtract what? 100. Good. So I'm left with 4x equals 80. Then what? I don't want to know what 4x equals. I want to know what x equals. Divide by 4. Good. So x is what? 20. Good. You don't really need the degree symbol because it already has it right here. Now, careful on these. The one that's going to get you are the same side interior. That's what's going to get you on the other section where these are just like angle 1 and an angle measure. Corresponding are congruent, alternate interior are congruent, alternate exterior are congruent. Those same side interiors, that's the only one where you have to do an actual like arithmetic problem, okay? What are your questions?
This helps.
Thank you for adding that to the YouTube video. It's really going to make it pop at the end.
Oh, it's really good,
Yes,
guys.
yes, really good. 2 thumbs up.
Fantastic.
All right, any questions?